Welcome to the Anthro Art Podcast, a space of anthropological insight connected to real-life situations. Here we explore topics of social inequality and inclusion, sustainability, and the social self. We aim to bring a more nuanced understanding of our world and its challenges, but also inspiration and ideas on how to solve them together. We hope you enjoy it.
Spaces4All, applying anthropology to the accessibility and inclusion of reduced mobility communities in public urban spaces. Abstract. The intersections of anthropology, inclusion and accessibility in urban public spaces is the focus of this article by delving into the Spaces4All project implemented in Lisbon, Portugal. It begins by emphasizing the importance of inclusion and addressing inequality in modern society, highlighting the role of anthropology in understanding and tackling social issues. The article discusses the significance of ethnographic fieldwork in uncovering barriers faced by marginalized groups, particularly those with reduced mobility, in accessing public spaces. It outlines the methodology employed in the Spaces4All project, including fieldwork, mapping of accessible routes, and collaboration with disability support organizations. Through its process, the project developed a digital solution aimed at enhancing accessibility and cultural engagement for individuals with disabilities. The conclusion underscores the vital role of anthropology in advocating for inclusive urban spaces, emphasizing collaboration with local communities and policymakers to foster equitable environments for all citizens. Introduction. Inclusion is a vitally important topic in all spheres of modern society. It means ensuring that all people, regardless of their backgrounds, abilities, identities, or conditions, are valued, respected, and given equal opportunities. In an increasingly diverse world, promoting inclusion is not only a moral issue, but also a necessity for social, economic, and cultural progress. However, achieving true inclusion requires not only appropriate policies and laws, but also a profound change in attitudes, education, and practices at all levels of society. Often, for there to be inclusion, it is necessary that there are no inequalities. Inequality is a complex and multifaceted phenomenon that is found in all societies around the world. It manifests itself in a variety of ways, including income disparities, unequal access to basic resources such as health and education, and discriminatory treatment based on characteristics such as gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, and socio-economic status, as well as difficulties in helping people with physical disabilities. Inequality undermines not only individual well-being, but also undermines social cohesion and weakens the fabric of the community. By looking at the roots and ramifications of inequality, we can begin to look for meaningful and lasting solutions to build a more just and equitable society. But then, where does anthropology come into all this history? Anthropology plays a fundamental role in understanding and addressing social issues, and in this sense, it is a powerful tool for studying and trying to find solutions to problems of inclusion and inequality in our societies. By studying different cultures and societies around the world, anthropologists can identify patterns of exclusion and discrimination, as well as the ways in which different groups deal with these issues. Through ethnographic research, anthropologists reveal how cultural norms, social structures, and power relations contribute to the marginalization of certain groups and the perpetuation of inequality. Additionally, anthropology offers valuable insights into human diversity, highlighting the wealth of experiences and perspectives that exist within each community. By recognizing and valuing this diversity, we can move towards more inclusive and equitable societies, where everyone has the opportunity to thrive and contribute fully. By bringing these complexities to light, anthropology not only challenges simplistic assumptions about inclusion and inequality, but also offers crucial insights to inform policies and practices that promote social justice and equal opportunity for all members of society. Ethnographic fieldwork in gardens and public spaces offers a unique window into understanding the interaction between individuals and their social environments. Upon entering these sites, ethnographers not only observe the everyday activities of the patrons, but also capture the rituals, cultural practices, and power dynamics that shape these spaces. Gardens and public spaces serve as a stage for a variety of social interactions, from informal gatherings between friends to political protests and artistic expressions. Through immersion in these human landscapes, ethnographers can unravel the meanings underlying seemingly mundane activities, revealing profound insights into identity, belonging, and social relationships. Anthropology can play a crucial role in identifying and addressing the barriers that people with reduced mobility face when accessing gardens and public spaces. Through sensitive and collaborative ethnographic research, anthropologists can highlight the experiences of these marginalized groups, revealing the complexities of interactions between individuals and their social environments. By documenting the difficulties faced by people with reduced mobility, such as lack of physical accessibility, discrimination, and stigmatization, anthropologists can raise public awareness and influence policies that promote inclusion and equal access. In addition, by collaborating with local communities and those responsible for managing public spaces, anthropologists can contribute to the development of practical and culturally appropriate solutions to make these environments more accessible and welcoming for all citizens. Ultimately, by promoting awareness and action around the inclusion of people with reduced mobility, anthropology plays a vital role in building fairer and more equitable societies. The accessibility of gardens and public spaces in Lisbon can vary depending on the age and location of the spaces. Some parks and gardens may have been designed or adapted to be accessible to people with reduced mobility, offering ramps, obstacle-free sidewalks, accessible restrooms, and adequate rest areas. However, many public spaces may face accessibility challenges due to aging infrastructure, lack of maintenance, or physical barriers such as steep stairs, uneven surfaces, and a lack of proper signage for people with visual impairments. Lisbon has been working on initiatives to improve accessibility in recent years, including the implementation of urban mobility plans that aim to make public spaces more inclusive and accessible to all citizens, regardless of their physical ability. The active participation of the community, researchers, including groups and associations defending the rights of persons with disabilities, is essential to identify accessibility issues, push for change, and collaborate with local authorities to implement effective solutions. This was one of the starting points of our work. The Vox Pop program. The Vox Pop program was the initiative that gave rise to the Spaces4All project, an European project for digital innovation of the urban mobility system of the city of Lisbon. The Vox Pop program was created to develop mobility solutions tailored to the diverse needs of Lisbon's residents, students, professionals, and visitors, addressing a range of non-technological obstacles in digital innovation. Vox Pop aimed to be an innovative initiative aimed at driving the digital transformation of Lisbon's mobility sector, focusing on three key elements: people, processes, and technology. Originating from the collective recognition of the necessity for more collaborative and transparent approaches to data sharing among local stakeholders, seeks to identify opportunities for enhancing Lisbon's mobility and transportation system. By streamlining planning processes and improving asset management, the program was designed to address a range of non-technological challenges, including governance, business models, user centricity, and the unintended consequences of digital innovation. Led by the Lisbon City Council, VoxPop brings together various stakeholders from the local innovation ecosystem, including municipal entities, private enterprises, and civil society organizations. Through this collaborative effort, endeavors to create a more efficient and responsive mobility framework for the Portuguese capital. Their goal was to expedite Lisbon's shift towards digitalization and mobility by fostering collaboration in city management. This involved leveraging digital tools to enhance the planning, operation, and upkeep of transportation infrastructure. Overall, VoxPop aimed to craft mobility solutions that prioritize the needs of end users, ensuring a more user-centric approach to urban mobility. Bearing in mind the program's guidelines, the idea arose to create a project that brought together anthropology, ethnography, and mobility, which would help the chosen target group, people with reduced mobility, and so Spaces4All was born. The Spaces4All project. People with physical disabilities have major problems accessing, navigating, and using public spaces in Portugal, and this project emerged as a response to the pressing need for improved accessibility in urban public spaces, particularly for individuals with disabilities in Lisbon, Portugal. With approximately 17% of the Portuguese population experiencing some form of disability, addressing accessibility challenges has become imperative for promoting social inclusion and equal participation in community life. Ethnographic fieldwork served as the cornerstone of the project, allowing us to conduct in-depth observations and assessments of various public spaces, including gardens, parks, and cemeteries, to identify existing barriers to accessibility. The Spaces4All project was designed to be a digital solution that allows people with visual, hearing, and motor disabilities to travel in urban public spaces in the municipality of Lisbon, presenting detailed maps with routes, GPS navigation, predefined routes, and cultural itineraries that enable a quality use of the public spaces that Lisbon has to offer. Its focus is on access to public spaces, gardens, parks, cemeteries, etc., by people with visual, hearing, and motor disabilities, with safety and quality, supporting and monitoring the movement within public spaces, using GPS navigation of the place using visual, written, and sound accessibility tools and software, with a focus on the cultural dimension of the sites. The application focused on the use of urban public spaces, including gardens and public parks in the municipality of Lisbon, where there are several green spaces of free use for all and where it is possible to walk and observe the biodiversity of fauna and flora and glimpse the beautiful landscapes of the Portuguese capital. A meeting place for socializing with family or friends. Urban gardens and parks are green areas that can bring quality of life to the entire population. Performing activities in them has different psychological, social, and physical health benefits. In addition, they also focused on cemeteries since, in recent years, more and more tourists walk through the various tombs and mausoleums of Portuguese cemeteries. In these, there are pieces with a different architecture and, despite what they symbolize, appealing. Lisbon cemeteries are places of great heritage and cultural richness that few people know about. Methodology. Through participant observation, not only were we able to document physical obstacles such as uneven terrain and lack of ramps, but also delved into the cultural and social dynamics shaping these spaces. We engaged with individuals with disabilities, local community members, and relevant stakeholders to gain insights into their lived experiences and perspectives on accessibility issues. These interactions provided valuable context for understanding the multifaceted challenges faced by individuals with reduced mobility, including not only physical barriers, but also social stigma and discrimination. To carry out this project, ethnographic fieldwork with participant observation was used as the main research method. To this end, 25 different sites were visited and observed, including gardens, public spaces, and cemeteries. The accessibility conditions in each place were observed. The most appropriate paths were mapped and without obstacles, so that they could be used by all citizens, and the cultural and interesting spaces to be visited in each place were also catalogued. The mapping of public spaces was a crucial aspect of the project, enabling us to identify the most accessible routes and points of interest within each location. By cataloging cultural landmarks, recreational facilities, and other points of interest, the project aimed to not only facilitate navigation for individuals with disabilities, but also enhance their cultural engagement and sense of belonging in public spaces. This emphasis on the cultural dimension of accessibility reflects a broader recognition of the importance of inclusive urban planning that goes beyond mere physical infrastructure to encompass the social and cultural aspects of accessibility. To summarize the overall process of the development of the solution, during the first phase we carried out fieldwork, researching the places of interest to be included in the project, contacted organizations that support people with disabilities to participate in the study, and contacted a freelancer, full-stack developer, to develop the digital solution. In the second phase, the mapping of public spaces was completed. The development of the solution design, the visual identity and dissemination of the solution was created, and contact with the project partners was maintained. During the third and last milestone period, the prototype of the solution was tested to assess its quality, usability, and reliability, as well as the creation of the solution, was finalized, ready for delivery at the end of the project. Furthermore, the Spaces4All project adopted a collaborative approach involving partnerships with disability support organizations, local authorities, and community groups throughout its development phases. These partnerships were instrumental in ensuring that the project remains sensitive to the needs and preferences of individuals with disabilities, as well as culturally appropriate in its design and implementation. By actively involving stakeholders in the process, the project fostered a sense of ownership and collective responsibility for promoting accessibility and inclusion in urban public spaces. Conclusion. This project, carried out over 6 months, and our research, both in the field and through the interviews carried out, shows that anthropology could play a crucial role in identifying and addressing the barriers the people with reduced mobility face when accessing gardens and public spaces. Through sensitive and collaborative ethnographic research, anthropologists can highlight the experiences of these marginalized groups, revealing the complexities of interactions between individuals and their social environment. By documenting the difficulties faced by people with reduced mobility, such as lack of physical accessibility, discrimination, and stigmatization, anthropologists can raise public awareness and influence policies that promote inclusion and equal access. In addition, by collaborating with local communities and those responsible for managing public spaces, anthropologists can contribute to the development of practical and culturally appropriate solutions to make these environments more accessible and welcoming to all citizens. Ultimately, by promoting awareness and action around the inclusion of people with reduced mobility, anthropology plays a vital role in building fairer and more equitable societies. Overall, the Spaces4All project exemplifies the transformative potential of anthropology in addressing complex social issues such as accessibility and inclusion. By combining ethnographic research methodologies with digital innovation, the project not only generated valuable insights into the barriers faced by individuals with disabilities, but also proposed practical solutions for enhancing accessibility and cultural engagement in urban environments. Moving forward, initiatives like Spaces4All serve as models for inclusive urban planning and advocacy, highlighting the pivotal role of anthropology in creating fair and more equitable societies.